Jon Jones is not the best MMA fighter of all time. Let me tell you why. Number 1. I believe this man was on PEDs throughout his entire career. In 2016, just days away from UFC 200, Jones was pulled from the card due to positive PED tests. The fight with DC fell off, and one of the biggest fights the UFC had ever put together was cancelled. In 2017, Jones beat DC in their rematch. Well, guess what happened after that? Jones pops again, this time for Turinabol to be exact. So we know he was at least on PEDs for a year of his career. We know all the stories, we've heard him 1,000 times about him hiding from USADA. The earliest evidence I can find that Jon Jones was taking PEDs is his UFC 182 drug testing paperwork. It was noticed that his testosterone to epitestosterone levels were unusually low, like freakishly low for a grown man. After this finding, some literally described his testosterone levels to be as low as a castrated male. Now, okay, you got me. That on its own doesn't point out PED usage, but let me explain why I think it does. Anti-doping experts have pointed out that hormone manipulation can lead to very unusual hormone profiles. Oh, and there's another one. There's a fucking another one. In 2016, Jones also tested positive for clomiphene and letrozole, and while those aren't anabolic steroids in themselves, clomiphene is used to stimulate natural testosterone production. Letrozole does reduce the production of estrogen, which, if you ask me, is the first sign of a dirty athlete. I've seen bodybuilders, athletes take it because, of course, it reduces estrogen. Drugs like these are usually used as a kind of post-cycle therapy. Yes, post-steroid cycle therapy, which this to me tells a lot about the type of MMA fan you are, because most people think, oh yeah, Jones just had one positive test, it was a fluke. No, this has been going on his entire career. Now, does that prove Jon Jones was running an established cycle for all of his career? No, but this will never be explainable to me. How are you literally a top 1% male, undefeated fighter, in amazing shape, with that low of testosterone? Like Guru said, the test of a young boy. We know Jon Jones's family is top 1% in terms of athleticism, so how is he, the most athletic of them all, getting caught with unusually low testosterone levels? It makes no sense to me. There has to be foul play. And there's even more than that, but I'm not the most educated on this topic. I just wanted to put forth the knowledge that I do know. But as we know, it's all one big joke. I play a character on this channel known as Outlaw MMA. These are not any opinions I personally own. This is all for entertainment, and I'm not making any accusations. Holy fuck. Anyways, on to the next. Another thing that will never make Jon Jones the best MMA fighter of all time in my book is the ducking he has done his entire career. Most Jones fans are just blind and think that's unruly, uncalled for hate, but if you look at the timeline, it's pretty fucking sus. Jon spent years saying he was moving up to heavyweight, and everybody wanted to see him versus Francis Ngannou, but we waited, and it never came. Francis leaves the UFC, and almost immediately after, oh wow, Jones is all of a sudden ready to fight a heavyweight. Maybe that's a coincidence, but he also had something similar happen at light heavyweight. Let's get into that now. For years, no matter what you want to say, Jones dominated legends like Shogun, Rampage, Rashad, Lyoto Machida, and more. But towards the end of his light heavyweight reign, which keep in mind, he was not old at this time, not viewed as washed up, this guy literally went life and death, split decisions with guys like Thiago Santos, and I don't care what anybody says, straight up lost to Dominic Reyes. Suddenly, that new generation wasn't like the old one. It wasn't fat old middleweights. It wasn't guys that were half of Jones's size. But when the going gets tough and the people want to see him fight the new gen of light heavyweights, he goes, I'm good. You can just say he wanted the new challenges at heavyweight, which I guess, but even when he got to heavyweight, he didn't want any smoke there with anybody worth a fuck besides Gon. Then he beat Gon, sat on the bench again like a fucking idiot, ruined the division. We had an interim champion in that time that defended his belt, and then Jon announces his first title defense as Stipe Miocic. Yeah, the 42-year-old firefighter that had been out of the game for 3 years. This is it. This is the time Jon Jones is going to silence all the haters, fight someone bigger, more naturally talented, faster, a specimen at heavyweight. Oh, wait, no? He tucked his tail and picked the easiest fight in the division? He fought a 42-year-old Stipe who still was putting hands on him at times and still made Jones look bad in certain positions? I don't dislike Jon Jones as a fighter because he is not skilled, because he is. He is extremely skilled. He is, on paper, one of the best fighters ever. But in my eyes, this guy is somewhat like the Mayweather of MMA. Not in the sense of, oh my god, he's undefeated and the best ever, but in the sense that when you look into it, there's a whole lot more than just a great record. Yeah, he's got a lot of championship fights against big names, but at times when the big names weren't in their primes or were just much smaller than him, and when the big challenges came, Jon didn't really want any part of them for whatever reason he said. We all know Floyd Mayweather talked about fighting Manny Pacquiao years before it actually happened. He played his cards right, waited till Manny was a little bit older, and then took it. which Jon thought he did something similar in waiting and waiting and waiting until Francis left to finally go up to heavyweight. Now, this is a bit different because Floyd did fight an old Pacquiao, and Jones never fought Francis at all. So I can give Mayweather the respect of actually stepping in the ring with the guy, even if it was 5 years fucking late. Jones thought he got off easy and was going to be able to get an easy title defense with no flack, but then Aspinall shows up, ruins that. That is personally why I think Jon Jones cannot be the best MMA fighter of all time. But it's your boy Outlaw. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Peace.